whispers of the dawn, a love story of a fairy and a farmer. The first light of dawn stretched across the valley, painting the fields of wheat and molten gold. In the quiet heart of that valley lived Aaron, a young farmer whose days began before the sun and ended long after it disappeared behind the hills. His hands were rough from tilling soil, his shoulders broad from carrying sacks of grain, yet his eyes soft, thoughtful, held the kind of patience that only the earth could teach. Aaron loved his land, not for the wealth it brought, but for the life it nurtured. Still, when night fell and the wind whispered through the empty farmhouse, loneliness sat beside him like a silent guest, far beyond the mortal valley. Hidden behind veils of mist and moonlight, there existed the Silverwood, a realm of eternal twilight where fairies dwelled. Among them was Lyra, a fairy unlike the others. While her kin delighted in endless dances beneath sapphire skies, Lyra carried a quiet curiosity for the world beyond their glimmering borders. She would perch on the highest branch and gaze toward the distant fields of men, wondering what it might feel like to touch the soil, to hear the heartbeat of a human life. One evening, when the moon was a thin silver smile, Lyra followed a trail of falling starlight that led her across the invisible threshold. Between her world and ours, the Silverwood's magic shimmered against her wings as she drifted over the valley, finally resting above a field where golden stalks swayed in the warm summer air. Below, she saw a lone figure bending to gather bundles of wheat. The farmer moved with steady grace, his every motion a dialogue with the land. Lyra hovered, entranced. She had watched mortals from afar, but never had she felt their quiet strength so vividly. Aaron felt a sudden breeze though the night was still. He looked up and there she was, aglow, soft and trembling, hovered like a living star. For a heartbeat, he thought fatigue had summoned a dream, but the dream blinked, and the blink became a smile. "Who are you?" Aaron whispered. Lyra tilted her head, her wings scattering droplets of silver light. "A friend," she answered, her voice like the hush of falling rain. "I was curious about the one who speaks to the earth." Aaron laughed softly, brushing wheat dust from his palms. "I speak to soil because it listens. But never did I think the sky would send someone to listen to." From that night on, Lyra returned. She came when the stars were awake and the world was hushed. Sometimes she sat upon the wooden fence as Aaron finished his chores. Sometimes they walked the moonlit roads, speaking of everything and nothing. How the rain smelled when they first kissed the fields. How the Silverwood hummed with music no human ear could capture. Aaron taught her the names of crops and constellations. Lyra showed him how to hear the secret songs of crickets, and the way dew formed tiny universes on leaves. They shared laughter like scattered seeds, and each night, their hearts rooted deeper into each other but love between mortal and fairy is a fragile bloom. For every moment of wonder, a shadow of truth followed close behind. Lyra belonged to the Silverwood. Its magic gave her life and bound her soul. If she stayed too long in the mortal world, her light would fade like mist under the morning sun. One evening, when the moon hung heavy and golden, Lyra confessed the fear she had carried. "My world will call me back," she whispered, her wings trembling. "If I stay, I may lose the magic that keeps me alive. But if I leave," her voice cracked like a thin branch in the wind. Aaron took her tiny hand, his touch gentle yet grounding. "Love is not a cage," he said. "The earth has taught me nothing truly ours can be forced to stay. But I would rather have one honest season with you than a lifetime of empty harvests." Tears glimmered in Lyra's eyes like liquid moonlight. She wanted to stay, to trade eternity for the warmth of his human heartbeat. But the Silverwood's call grew louder each night. A song threaded into the air, tugging at her wings. The final choice arrived on the eve of the harvest festival. Aaron stood amidst fields ready to be reaped, their golden heads bowing like worshippers. Lyra appeared, her glow dimmer than ever before. "I cannot hold both worlds," she said softly. "To stay is to fade. To leave is to ache." Aaron swallowed the ache already forming in his chest. He stepped forward, cupping her tiny, glowing face in his weathered palms. "Then let us not choose sorrow. Let us choose love, even if it is only for tonight." They danced beneath the harvest moon. No music guided them, only the rhythm of hearts that knew this might be their last embrace. The wind carried their laughter across the valley, and for a fleeting eternity, time bent to their dot when dawn bled across the horizon. Lyra's glow thinned to a wisp. She kissed Aaron's brow, leaving a trace of silver light that sank into his skin. "This is my promise," she whispered. "No matter where I am, a part of me will live in your fields." In every whisper of dawn, with a final flutter of wings, she rose like a falling star in reverse, vanishing into the pale morning sky. Days turned to weeks, weeks to seasons. Aaron worked his land as he always had, but the earth felt different now. In every blade of grass he heard her laughter. In every breeze he felt the brush of her wings. Some nights, when the moon was kind, a faint silver shimmer would drift across the fields, and Aaron would smile, knowing true love never really leaves. It merely changes form, like seed to flower, soil to sky. Years later, villagers whispered of a strange beauty that blessed Aaron's farm. Crops grew richer, flowers bloomed brighter, and on nights of soft starlight, the wheat swayed as if dancing to a hidden melody. Aaron never revealed his secret. He simply worked, quietly, patiently, with a heart that had once touched eternity. and in the silver wood. Lyra often paused at the edge of the mist, gazing toward the valley below. Though she could not cross again, she felt the pull of their love like the steady beat of the earth, a reminder that some bonds do not fade with distance or time. They simply grow roots deeper than any soil, reaching for each other